Alrighty, welcome back, boys and girls. It's your main math man, Mr. Shane, coming to you live from Mayfield. And in this video, we're going to be working through that page 1 of the study guide. Again, this is due on this Tuesday, which is our Unit 4 test day. So again, I want to make sure you can evaluate these expressions using those given replacement values. So it says, what is the value of 3 times the quantity x minus 4 plus 3x squared? That says when x equals -2. Again, you can type this into that Desmos calculator, but we'll do that at the end. I want to make sure I can show you the proper steps to be able to solve it. So again, first you want to substitute in your values for your variables, and so you're going to have a -2 in parentheses anywhere where you would have an x. And so now, again, you want to do the innermost grouping symbols first, and so I do -2 minus 4, so that's going to be -6, and then again I'm going to do exponents, and so I do -2 squared, which is 4, and then I do 3 times -6. Since we have multiplication and this is all in the same step, you want to make sure you do the furthest left first, and so we do 3 times -6, which is -18, and then we do 3 times 4. So then we have -18 plus 12 is going to give you a -6. And again, we can check using our Desmos calculator, and it should end up looking something like this. So you should have, let me move this over a little bit. So you should have and be able to plug in using those parentheses, use those replacement values, and again the answer shows up on the far right. So again, it is -6, and so we can move on. Alright, for number 2, it says, what is the value of the this expression when a equals 4, b equals 16, and c equals -2? And it has the expression up here as 3 times quantity, and then it has square root of b plus the square root of a, and that's all over c. And so again, plug in those values for your variables first. And so I'm going to use, I'm going to just write the expression, and then I have the square root of 16 is actually going to be where we work first, since that's in our numerator, and it's the furthest left square root. And so square root of 16, that's going to be 4. And so then I have the square root of 4 is going to be 2. And then I do, still in the numerator, I do 4 plus 2, which is 6. And then I have 6 divided by -2. That's a -3. And then finally I do that final step of 3 times a -3, which is a -9. And so, again, be very mindful as you're typing this in. It can be a little difficult to type in, but if you're able to kind of highlight that numerator, if you typed in the square root of b plus the square root of a, you can highlight that and then hit the fraction button to start a fraction. And so, since our expressions match up, we know we are good. Alright, so now it says which expression has a value of 65, and I'm actually going to kind of start us off. It's going to be expression C. I can show it in here. So I'm going to start us off by plugging in those values. So I have 2 and a -5, and then I plug in -2 as well. I want to make sure I use the innermost on the grouping symbols first. So I do 2 minus a -5, and that should be a positive 7. And so I do positive 7 squared, which is going to be 49. 49, and then I have, let's see, I have -2 to the exponent 3. Again, that is not 2 times 3. That is -2 times -2 times -2, which is -8. We have -8 times 2, which is -16. Again, subtract those two. Make sure you're saying, since 49 minus a negative, that's the same thing as addition, and so we can add those two together to get 65. And so to check it off in our Desmos, again, I can kind of pull this over a little bit further. Alright, so again, I have our grouping symbols, I have the variables that we defined, and again it has on the far right our result. Again, as long as this matches what is given, you know you are good. Alright, last one I'll do on this page. It says evaluate, meaning plug in your values and then simplify. It says 3/4 times p, and then it has the quantity p divided by 2 to the second power. And it has when p is -12. So again, I plug in my values first. So I have -12 anywhere where I would have the variable p. And so I work inside the parentheses first, and so I do -12 divided by 2, which is going to be -6. And then I take -6 squared, which is a positive 36. And then I can do this fraction on the outside, since that's technically division. If you wanted to change that to a decimal, you can certainly do that first, whatever works best for you. And so we have 0.75 times that -12. That's going to be a -9. And then we take that -9 times 36 to get our -324. Let me bump this over, make some space for our Desmos capture. Again, you can kind of see what this is looking like. Make those fractions using this fraction bar, or you can use the divide sign if you type in those values first. Make sure your exponents are in the right place, and again, your values match up.